Hey, my name's Steven, coming at you from Florida.
Hello, y'all. This is Kevin coming from Texas.
My name's David. I'm coming from the Heartland,
Ohio.
And welcome to the Brothers
Born.
Podcast.
and we're excited to talk to you.
Yes, we are.
Welcome back to Brothers Born Podcast. We got our next throwdown going down here. I get to be the judge this time. So, I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be a little different. And we'll go ahead and get started. So, Steve, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right. So my character, he was first observed in 2007 in a movie, but he's also been in the TV shows and video games. He is an expert chef, despite his family's disapproval, and he's known in a cute way as Little Chef. And I'm going to go ahead and leave you a quote with him. It says, quote, "If you are what you eat, then I only want to eat the good stuff," end quote. David, can you guess who my character is?
I honestly don't have the list of characters in front of me. I was trying to find it real quick because I have no idea. I remember there being somebody called Little Chef or something like that, or Master Chef. I can't remember.
I don't think we have a Master Chef. Was Master Chief one of our characters?
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Master Chief making some food.
All right. I'll text you the list of characters and see if you can figure out who it is.
Is that all you got for me? I guess if it doesn't matter.
That's all I got right now. The rest of it kind of plays more into the throwdown itself, and I don't want to give it away yet. So, but I said
Okay,
I
let me
just sent the
see.
list to you.
Well, Remy.
Yeah.
Remy was a chef. Oh,
You got it. I got Remy today.
nice. Okay. This is going to be very interesting. All right, I'll give you mine. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He's pretty much been around forever. Since anyone can really remember, since recorded history. He's known for his kindness, and he we'll just say that he's a very popular figure throughout the world, and everyone looks forward to when he arrives.
Santa?
Yes. I could give you a quote now. I see you when you're sleeping. I know when you're awake.
Oh, man. That's terrifying.
You're making Santa sound terrifying.
Make it sound spooky. Man, this is interesting.
So we got Santa, the magical Christmas elf guy, and
Yes.
versus a rat who cooks food.
So right off the bat, both of these are really nice characters. They're not like mean people, so this is going to be a tough one. Like they're not like malicious in any way whatsoever.
No, not at all. That quote just is if you say it in the right way. So,
That's true. That's true. Oh man. All right, Kevin, who's starting this one off?
Why don't you go ahead?
Let me tell you something about Remy. He's a rat, and as a rat, he can fit in some very, very small places. So although he is vulnerable in the sense that he's small and possibly weak, quotation marks, he could like really sneak around in ways that I think Santa'd have a hard time finding him. That's my first argument. I'm going to start with that one.
All right.
but in a throwdown, aren't they already right in front of each other and they're easy to find? I guess he could run.
Well,
Okay, I guess.
yes, but like if he's little, it's not like
Yeah.
Santa. He's a big dude. He probably isn't like very fast. So I feel like Remy could outrun him in a lot of ways. And like,
Okay.
I will say
take
that rats are pretty agile. I know from experience.
you have a couple rats, as I recall.
I do have a couple rats.
Don't let that bias your decision, but totally let that bias your decision.
I had one in my apartment once when I was on my mission.
Yeah,
It
but
was
yours
ter-
wasn't.
it was terrible.
Yours wasn't intentional.
It's terrible.
So yeah, Remy's real agile. He can fit in small places. He can hide real easily. I'm not sure what our arena is. We never really described the arena that these things take place in, but I feel like he could sneak around. I'm assuming there'd be obstacles and things that, you can use as shelter or whatever. So he'd be hard to catch. There you go.
Okay.
Answer to that.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me a little bit back and forth.
No, I think I'm going to try and keep it frisky this time, just back and forth, 1 point at a time.
All right. Well,
also, I don't have that much, so I have to really stretch it out.
Santa can see you when you're sleeping, as I stated earlier, and he pretty much can find you wherever he is. He's got the power of magic working for him. So sure, Remy could hide away, but Santa, creates a cookie, creates some cheese, whatever. He just can do whatever he wants to create some mousetrap right there. Like Santa could probably find him wherever he goes. This is a harder argument. I wasn't expecting to fight this one off because Santa is a big dude. He can't get into small places, I don't think.
Well, the question is, are we going to make the assumption that either Remy has suddenly grown to Santa size or Santa has shrunk down to Remy size?
No, they got to be the accurate size. I think
Remy's
size.
Santa can't. We know he probably can shift sizes a little bit just because he can fit down chimneys.
He could fit in small places too. That's true.
So I think, although he might not be able to get down to rat size, he probably could get into a crowded nook or cranny, at least look in there and see if he could find Remy somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got something in his magic sack they could whip out and catch the little rat wherever he is. So yeah, he is somewhat of a shapeshifter, I guess you could say. Yeah. And we know from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer that he can go from being skinny to like his regular Santa size within just a few hours.
That's true. That's pretty remarkable.
So
it's also incredibly unhealthy.
Might not get down to Remy size, but he could chase him. I think so.
As a medical worker, I do not suggest any of our listeners change weight drastically in the course of a matter of hours.
At least not with magic on your side. So
this is not an average listener. This is Santa Claus, Father Christmas, Father Christmas.
You mentioned Santa throwing cheese or cookies or something.
I just made that up while I was trying to think.
Let me
tell
you something.
Distract myself long enough to find the real answer, but go ahead.
Remy has the ability to detect poison. So you could throw, I don't know, some like garbage food. He doesn't eat garbage. All his family does, but he doesn't. He's all about true cuisine. So he would be like, he could detect what you're doing there. And he's not like a rat that gives in easily to like food temptation.
Santa Claus could get whatever cheese he wants.
You can get whatever cheese he wants?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is, like, what's that going to do? Remy's like, all right, that's bad food.
The cheese isn't poison. Cheese isn't poison. It's meant as a decoy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That might fall. It might cause him.
Santa's not going to poison the dude, I don't think.
But it is pretty cool that he can detect poison. That's better than any of the other rats in his little hovel.
Go ahead. Give me some more points.
So this is, he doesn't vomit, which is a fun fact about rats. They can't vomit. I don't know.
Neither does Santa Claus. He eats millions of cookies every night, every Christmas.
So they have that ability connected. They're unique in that way. So I only have a couple more points, but this is a critical one, and I think it could be a game changer. Remy has the ability, if he gets on top of someone's head and grabs their hair, he has complete control over them.
Oh, snap.
So
it's a whole nother, I didn't think about that one.
So like in the movie, Linguini, he gets on his head, grabs his hair, and he controls Linguini. And at first it's like Linguini can't stop him. So he's like, oh, what's going on? He's like cooking stuff, making soup, whatever. And Remy's like, yeah, I've got control over you. So if Remy can get on top of Santa Claus or in his beard, Santa better watch out because he's going to take complete control of him.
Is Santa with a rat beard? Oh. Sweet.
Okay. Do you have another point too? Like, do you want to? Because
I'm going to keep that one for now. See if you can respond to that.
That's an interesting point. I knew that one was coming, and I was a little nervous about it at first. But if I remember right from the movie, that is not a Pixar movie that I frequented very often, but I have seen it once. If I remember correctly, he does control Remy's body, right? But does he control
Remy
Remy's mind?
controls.
I'm sorry, I said it backwards. He controls Linguini's body, but does
Yeah.
he control Linguini's mind though?
He doesn't control his mind, but for somehow Linguini can't stop it though. Once Remy's on his head, he's controlling him. Like he although he's like, stop it, he could say, don't, what are you doing? But he can't actually stop him from doing it.
But also, does Remy want it to be stopped? Does Linguini want it to be stopped? I can't get the name right.
In the beginning, he does, because he's like, what's this freaky rat doing on my head?
So my thing is, Santa realizes he does only come out once a year to do his job. I mean, he's around year round, but when he does his main work, it's only one time a year. So I could see where that would be a little bit. It would be a little bit of a disturbance on Christmas Eve. I hope Remy wouldn't do that to all the children, but if he did, Santa Claus usually would have his reindeer nearby to help him out, or some elves to help him out. Now, maybe he can't, control his body, but he can be like, ho, 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 Jingle Feet. I can't think of any elves' names, but Tinker
Jingle Feet seems legit.
Jingle Feet. That's
need
awesome.
Some help. And of course, they would be there. Oh, what do you need, Santa? And elves are a little bit smaller too, so the elves could maybe find Remy a little bit easier than Santa. So I think an elf could come down and assist Santa during that time. But it would be a little bit of a distraction for a few moments. I'll give you that.
Yeah, if he gets on Santa, unless somehow Santa can get him off of him, but he can't control himself.
I just told you how Santa could get him off.
The elves, but let me tell you, man, Remy's got an army of rats at his disposal. His entire rat colony family could just as easily come in the movie. They come in and help him like open a restaurant and like cook a meal. So he has an army of rats that can easily come back and fight them elves. So it's kind of turned into Remy versus Santa as well as rats versus elves.
That's true.
That is a fair point.
And Remy's refined, he's sophisticated. His family's not. They don't care at all, man. They'll tear up some things. So like they're like, Remy's kind of nice, he's not going to make a mess, but his brother, I forget his name, Emile, I think is the name, something like Emile, he would wreck some stuff.
It's true, but the elves also, I mean, I know the elves, probably not a whole bunch of them go with him on Christmas Eve. Sometimes maybe not that many at all. But if he has his army at his disposal, like he could probably get the elves right there. Elves are in his magic sack in some versions of Santa Claus. So they could come out. They have magic powers right then and there. They probably would be able to contain the family of rats, I believe. And then the other thing, like if this whole ruckus is going on, like with the children, if it's in someone's house on Christmas Eve, I didn't know we were going to go this direction, so I don't know if that's the venue.
That's the arena.
Not,
it's Timmy's living room.
Both of these characters need to work in secret, really. So
that's true.
The ruckus can't get too loud, or it's going to destroy their whole, MO, whatever. So I don't know. That's a good point, but I think the elves would at least give a challenge to the rats.
So is this a battle of stealth?
It kind of is. I feel like a little bit.
I think I have the upper hand right now, so I'll go ahead and pass it to you.
I don't know about that. Santa Claus. First of all, I forgot to say this when I was introducing my character, but we all know that he comes from a historical figure, Saint Nicholas, who is the patron saint of sailors, merchants, archers, repentant thieves, prostitutes, children, brewers, pawnbrokers, unmarried people, and students. So Santa is the saint for all of these people. I didn't realize he was the patron saint for prostitutes and merchants and thieves.
It gives me a whole new thoughts on Santa.
Where that comes from is he was known for helping people, and he would, like, there's one story where he there's this man who had this is the like historical Santa, but there's a man who had 3 daughters who they couldn't get married, whatever. So he didn't have money to pay the dowry fee. So they were going to have to be sold into prostitution. So Santa secretly at nighttime gave him the money, and he had it. And then he helped him get married right away. But I think that's why he's the saint of prostitutes and unmarried people. But I never knew some of that stuff. But anyways, side note.
It's really interesting.
But some of the things from St. Nicholas, some of those things carry on to Santa Claus. Like the things Santa Claus are known for come from St. Nicholas. But Santa Claus is a very good dude. He helps people. He's a master storyteller. He has a magic sack, a magic globe. He can see everyone. Like he's omnipresent. Sees them when they're sleeping. He knows exactly what you're doing, man. He knows if you've been bad or good. He knows if Remy's been bad or good. So he wouldn't even bring Remy any presents if Remy was bad. So that would probably make Remy not want to fight Santa Claus in the first place. But like he's got, like we said earlier, we mentioned his army of elves. He's got a fleet of reindeer. He can go anywhere he wants to in the world in one night. And no matter what Remy cooks up, Santa can eat it. His stomach, it's just, along with him being, his sack being eternal, his stomach, man, it can handle millions of cookies in one night. So just take those rats. You could probably deposit them there for a few minutes. And you get rid of the rats.
Throw them down. Is eating some rats.
Santa's eating rats. Man, Santa's kind of a weird dude now.
Well, maybe not eating, but throw them in the sack. I don't know. The elves in the sack will take care of it. But he knows everybody. He's got all the department stores in his back pocket. He's got, everyone's on his side because some stores are in business because of him. All the children in the world love and support him. All the children in the world are scared of rats. So
not all the children in the world. I mean, there's
a lot of children.
Some people don't celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
That's true too.
Anyways, like his main thing, I mean, he just, like I said, he has his magical powers help him to make reindeer fly. He's climate wise, he can handle a cold weather. The rats, they kind of go into hiding in cold weather.
That's a fair point. I do feel like, because you don't find a lot of rats in the North Pole, I don't think. Well, you might. I mean, they're kind of everywhere, but
if that was the venue, I think for sure Santa would have the upper hand. But we don't.
We already decided the venue was Timmy's living room. So
all right, you have another point. Let's do a little more back and forth to see what we can do.
That's a fair. I will say, Santa has magic on his side. Okay. And he's well loved. More people know about Santa than Remy. He's got the elves at his disposal. You got some good points there, but a couple things here. I'm going to talk about Remy's rat army real quick. Okay,
rat army.
They don't have a code really. They're just hungry, always hungry. Okay. So they're willing to go to great lengths to satisfy their need to eat, and they would just ravage. Like sure, the elves are a little more dignified. They're like, okay, well, they don't want to get dirty. They got their cute little elf costume. They're trying to like stay clean. Whereas the rats are like, whatever. They're just like, the rats are like, just give it to me, and then they just go after him. So there's nothing holding these rats back at all, I'd say, other than. So that's one thing. Remy, on the other hand, he's not as hungry as his brethren. Or he is hungry, but he's not as nasty, I guess you could say. But again, he gets on top of Santa's head, gets under his hat, he grabs his hair or his beard. He can make Santa do whatever he wants him to do, bro. He'd be like, oh yeah, I'll show you. And he's gonna make him go down like the skinniest chimneys. He can make him do some wicked things. So I don't know. I think if I will say, if Remy can't get on Santa's beard, he might be in trouble. But as soon as he gets on the beard, it's game over because he has complete control over him.
Well, I disagree because we still have the elves to deal with.
The rats are taking care of them right now.
I don't know, man. The elves, they're maybe not as, like you mentioned how the rats are just hungry, and like when you fight like that, you're not really. I mean, Kevin, you're in the military. You probably know this a little better than us. But I know when you have that there, that just carnal instinct to devour and fight, like you don't really lose you don't have a sense of control. Yes, the elves, they're cool and collective, man. they can take care of that. I mean, if you've seen Arthur Christmas, these elves, man, they'll just wrap those rats up real quick if they can. You wrap them, throw them away, make them float away somewhere.
Just wrap them in Christmas wrap.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Like they have an arse, like they maybe aren't as hungry and ravenous as these rats are, but they've got the brains, and they know, like, their desire is going to be for the children to have these Christmas presents. So they're going to sit back and they're going to be able to witness the scene, and they're going to be able to strategically handle what's happening. I think wrap up the rats, make the rats float away, create
but
some
rats can chew through ribbon, man. Those rats are about to chew through that ribbon.
Can't chew through a lot of stuff.
You got like 50 rats right in front of one elf, because I'm sure there'll be more rats than elves there. But the elf real quick creates. Look at this fancy cheese, and okay, that goes against their ravenous hunger, because they would see the cheese and be like, "We're gonna get that instead. Let's get that." Like that's all they're thinking of.
All right. So I have a quick question regarding these rats. So Remy's family,
they're wrapped up and floating away.
No, I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is, how many rats are actually part of Remy's family, or are we assuming that all rats are under Remy's control?
We can't assume.
So
that.
because I feel like there aren't that many rats in that movie compared to, rats in general. So if you only have like a few select number of rats with Remy, then,
have you seen the movie?
You wouldn't necessarily be that big of an army of rats. Although any army of rats would be pretty intense.
Have you seen the movie? I don't want to defend Steven here, but did you see it by any chance?
It's like a long time ago.
Do you remember when there was one scene where like hundreds of rats just came out of that restaurant
in the kitchen? Yeah, they're all in the kitchen helping them.
That's true.
Yeah, hundreds.
But I still feel like, though, not to defend Steven, and sure there was a lot, and I don't know why French restaurants have that many rats in them. Kind of gross, but even then, the rats, like you can only go with the ones that are in the general area. Like if you were in China, for example, not that Santa goes there much, because there's not a lot of, maybe Hong Kong. There's probably people there that are Christians, but you're there, and then all the rats that are in New York City can't really help you. Santa Claus, if he needed to, he could control any elf he needed and probably find a way to get them there as quickly as he could, just based on how well he can travel the globe and use his magic sack.
Unless Remy is already controlling him, then he can't control the elves. Does that mean? Wait, hold on. If Remy has control of Santa, does he subsequently also have control of the elves then? Because if that's the case,
I want to say no, because I'm pretty sure the elves are pretty sentient. I don't think they're.
That's true. They're not like
mindless drones.
He might have a little bit more control over the reindeer, but even the reindeer, I think, can stink on their own. But plus, the reindeer would be stomping these rats all over the place.
You just painted a really gruesome picture of Christmas.
Dancer. Dancer would be doing the two-step all over these rats, man.
Rats.
All right. So I want to take a moment. Let's talk about some character attributes of our characters, like not necessarily what's in their arsenal. So Remy he's a kind soul. Sure, he has a little bit of a beef with Linguini at one point, but he's really driven to he wants to be a chef his whole life.
Dude.
The rest of his rat family is like, hey, just eat garbage with us. He's like, no, I'm an artist. I want to make a difference in the world. So he's very driven, and he does it to the point where he even he's willing to take control of a human being to achieve his goals in life. But he's also
so he has a dark side to him.
I guess he does, but they kind of work out a deal. Linguini, he's supposed to inherit the restaurant, but he's kind of on rough times. So Linguini's like, hey, if you help me cook better, it's a mutual agreement after they have the first incident. But
so parasitic relationship,
I guess you could say, but it's mutually beneficial to both of them. But yeah, so Remy, he wants to do what's right for his family, but he also wants to chase his dreams. He never gives up on his dreams. If there's one thing Santa teaches people, don't give up on your dreams either. So maybe Santa was an inspiration to Remy at some point. I don't know.
Could be it, but now it's coming back around to the throwdown. So something had to happen to sever this relationship. But
three brothers put them in the ring together.
So you say he's driven. Do you want to say some more right now, or do you want?
I just want to, he's a very determined guy and is willing to go great lengths to achieve his goals.
Fair point.
So.
You just described Santa Claus too, though. So I mean, Santa Claus is driven. How do you think he creates toys? Like, if there's one little child on that list that he forgets about, he'll get that child a present if the child's good. I guess that's one flaw of Santa Claus. Sometimes he maybe doesn't give the bad children as many chances as they should get. I don't know.
But with that, Remy taking control of a person's against their will, would that mean that Remy is not good?
That's true.
He wouldn't get a toy from Santa.
He's not going to get a toy. He's not going to get a rat toy.
I think we found out where the breakup of this relationship happened. I think so.
Remy's like, I'm making pasta, and Santa's like, no.
You shouldn't take control of people unwillingly. But Santa's very driven, and I mean, Santa, even the children that are naughty, he'll still give them gifts. I mean, he still gives them something. Yeah, that's kind of I mean, in some versions of Santa, yeah, that's true. He gives them coal and sticks or whatever. So maybe Remy got a few extra sticks he didn't want to get, or because he took control of people. I don't know. But Santa Claus is driven as well. Santa Claus is so driven, he can drive his team of reindeer over the whole world in one night. So,
nice pun there. So, all right, how about this? Let me put something out there. What if Remy got control of the Krampus?
Wait,
the Krampus isn't part of this, though.
No, but Remy got control of it.
I was going to appeal to the judge here. I don't know if we can add Krampus. Are we able to do that?
I don't think we can add Krampus. I don't feel like. I mean, they do kind of go hand in hand, I guess, in a sense, but it's sort of like, you could say the same about any sort of, yin yang sort of relationship. I don't think Krampus counts. I don't think we can use him.
Fair enough. Right, fair enough.
Bylaws, the unlikely throw down bylaws.
So I'll stick
but
to
in a way, I guess you could say if they're naturally allies, like you're doing with the rats, or we did with Hans Gruber's team. So is there evidence anywhere in the movie that Krampus at one point worked with Remy, or
a totally different Pixar film if it was, but no. Nothing like that. Oh, one more thing I do want to bring up though. Remy does see like spirits. There's the chef Gusteau. He can see his ghost. And so it's possible that there's some sort of I don't know, supernatural ability for Remy. I didn't look into it too much in the movie, but if he could see ghosts, there might be something he has there for him. I'm not sure how he'd incorporate that, but it is worth noting.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to not incorporate it then.
But I'm going to stand.
I'm not against incorporating it. I'm just trying to figure out how that would really come into play at all. And I can't see any reason why it would.
The ghost could be a distraction for the
not for Santa.
Not for Santa, but there's other legions. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to hold on to this in that because he can control people by grabbing their hair. I think maybe you're right. Maybe Santa would win if Remy wasn't able to do that. But as soon as Remy gets control, then I think it's game over. He's going to make Santa do anything he wants him to. So
I think that's true hero. Okay.
That is my argument.
That's a fair point. But in the other, even though he controlled the dude's body, the dude still, like I said, the dude still had his mind. And at one point he didn't want Remy up there. Even throughout the movie, there was disagreements between the two when Remy tried to do his thing. And I think Santa, his mind is so sharp, it has to be. I mean, look what Father Christmas does. He's so many miracles in one night. He is sharp that night, man. So he would find some way to he'd find elves. Help me! And the elves would come, take the
Jingle feet. I have a rat in my beard.
I'm so jolly right now.
Jingle feet, get rid of this rat.
he'd find a way to be I feel like he would just be able to get the elves to take care of Remy to get him off there, or just find a way to overcome through his mental capacities to still get the job done that he needed. If his hands weren't available, Jingle feet, grab the Christmas wrapping paper. Give me some of those cookies. Fruity Dash. I don't know. I can't think of any elf names, but there'd be a way that Hermey.
Hermey was a dentist.
He didn't want to be an elf. He would join Remy.
Fix this rat's tooth. Anyways, I feel like
do rats require a lot of dental work?
Probably
they do look like they would, but So maybe Herbie would defect to the rats, but on the other hand, I don't. That's neither here nor there.
Well, I want to just wait.
I
Hold
feel
on.
like
Maybe Hermey would defect to the rats. That's the quote of the episode. I think. I think that should be.
Maybe Hermey would defect to the rats.
That's a beautiful thing you just said.
I feel like it should be the name of the episode.
I think you're right.
even though the whole thing's not really about Herbie or the extra rats, just Remy and Santa. But yes, that could happen. But the other elves would overpower that. Plus, Remy's not going on these journeys with Santa Claus. I mean, not Remy. Oh, Herbie's not even going on these journeys, I don't think. He's at home fixing all the elves' teeth or just chilling because he's not really, his purpose, his usefulness doesn't really come on Christmas Eve. But there'd be a way to get that rat off of Santa's, although his beard is very thick and thorough, but
it's a rat's nest, if you will. Sorry.
So I think that Santa could overcome that. And I just feel like with Santa's powers that he has, he gets through, maybe I've heard versions where he can get through keyholes of doors. He can open up the doors magically. He goes
is Santa secretly the Ant-Man?
Maybe he has some of the PEM particles. I don't know, but
all right, Kevin.
I do believe Steven has a really good point about Remy controlling Santa. The only problem I see with that is from Santa's point of view, because he's magical, I think he could probably circumvent that. Plus, even though Remy could control Santa's body, I don't think he could control Santa's magic. I'd say it's a very compelling argument, and it's a very hard decision for me to make because, one, I'm kind of partial to rats anyway, but my rats don't cook me dinner, though. What's up with that, stupid rats? But it's a compelling argument. I think there's definitely potential for Remy to get a good hand up, but I don't think he can control Santa's magic. So because of that, I'm going to say that Santa wins this one.
What? That's right.
Fair enough.
But on the side note, don't you think that it would be cool if the two of them teamed up?
That would be pretty sweet.
Hey, rats are historically known for giving people a gift of sorts too.
Yeah,
rat trapping's all
plague.
over the
But I don't think Remy has any plague fleas on him now.
Do you think Krampus would be able to have control over the rats? I don't know as much about Krampus as I should.
No, Krampus is just I don't think so.
Okay. Anyways, I think that it would be quite an interesting scene. Ho ho ho! What's happening? And then
It'd be a fun thing to watch. See, last time we were able to say fan fiction, but I don't even know if you can make fan fiction out of this one. It's just weird.
Yeah, I thought we couldn't beat our last one in terms of unlikely weirdness, but I think this might beat it.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one of these we're gonna do is a tournament of champions of sorts, and it's sort of last time we did a structure, a narrative structure of with their leftover characters, but instead this time we're gonna do a narrative structure of a little episode, and it's going to involve some shenanigans that involve Santa,
the 6 champions,
Boba Fett, the Xenomorph, Mario, Hans Gruber, and Papa Smurf. So very excited.
Are we taking the winners? Are we taking the winners from this year and facing them off against the winners last year?
Should we do that, or should we just randomly team one this year?
Because
I think
as much as I like Hans Gruber, I don't know about Hans Gruber versus Xenomorph. I feel like we kind of have an upper hand this year.
Because adding the listeners' suggestions has taken us in directions that we had never foreseen. So because before we kind of focused on characters that were known for battle or magic or whatever it is, this time it's just anyone, all hands on deck, so it's been a little bit different. But there's 2 things you could do. You could do last year's versus this year's, or somehow pair one of each up and then have 3 teams. I don't know, whatever you think would be best. Or you could do
3 teams would work. That
or
we could take
Royal
2.
Rumble style where they just all get thrown in. But what do you think?
What was it? 2 teams last time or 3 teams last time? I can't remember.
It was 3 last time.
It was 3. We each had to do leftovers.
So let's each take 2. Let's do it that way.
Each of us has 2 champions.
Yeah.
So should we each just take our champions?
Yeah.
We could do that. So at least me with Xenomorph and Mario. That's a crazy team up right there. It's a me, Mario.
Santa and Oscar, they're both Christmas.
I have Boba Fett and Papa Smurf, so that's going to be great. 3 teams. It's going to be a great episode. Where does it take place? It should be. I can't make it Christmas. That gives you an upper hand, but it would make it fun, like Christmas Eve.
Some sort of wrestling arena, perhaps.
Yes, I think. Yeah, we'll do wrestling.
Yeah, WWE Friday night.
All right, looking forward to it. We'll catch you guys then.
All right.
All right. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of BBP, the Brothers Born podcast. This was the 3rd installment in Season 2 of our Unlikely Throwdowns, Remy versus Santa Claus. Special thank you to Sean Sullivan for submitting the name Remy for our character, and special thank you to our very own David for submitting Santa Claus as a character. We would love to include more characters in future matchups in the Unlikely Throwdowns, so if you have any suggestions, let us know on facebook.com/brothersbornpodcast or email us at brothersbornpodcast@gmail.com. We love that you listen to us, and we invite you to share this show with your friends and give us a good review on your podcatcher. Stay tough, friends.
The matchup still makes me giggle. I don't